Yo, what's up everybody? This is Joshua Casper coming at you with a quick Photoshop tutorial. Okay, this tutorial is meant to be specifically for one of my friends. He wanted to know how I make my YouTube thumbnails, and I figured I would record a video for him, and why not share it with everybody? So it's really simple. So if you're a Photoshop pro, just forget this tutorial. Go ahead and skip it. I'm just gonna do something really simple. If you've ever seen my YouTube thumbs, then you know what I'm gonna do here. So essentially what I would do is find a good looking image, something like this image right here, and I would import it. And then I would just bring that into a 1280 by 720 comp. And then I would duplicate that layer. And then Control T to get my transform tool, and I would blow it up. The one in the back, obviously. I make it really big, real quick. And that's my sort of background. So I kind of position it so it looks, you know, pretty good by itself, something like that. And the next thing I do is add a new layer, and I would get my gradient tool, and I just add this kind of fade to it, and go back to that background layer, and I always do filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I just make it washed out because I don't want the detail back there to draw the eye. I just want it to be the background essentially, you know what I mean? Then I would just add some text. I would do something bold like synthetic prototypes, and then that's my main headline, and then I would use a regular or light version below it for, you know, the sub headline. So 200 IRs for convolution reverb, something like that. But I would definitely impulse responses, something like that, and I would bring the size down on the lower one here, not that much, but something like that. And then I would make the text stretch from one side to the other, because you want the text to be really big because YouTube thumbs are usually pretty small. And I would try to find the middle and bring down that other graphic just a little bit, you know, something like that. I might even leave it behind a little bit, but that's it. That's the simple way to do it. You might have to change that way that the Y isn't covering up the 200. But that's essentially it. I just do that same thing every time. I find a catchy image, I duplicate it, blow it out in the background, and then put two different style fonts. I use Roboto, which is a font by Google, just because I think it's super clean and easy to read. And I make the writing to be as minimal as possible while still getting across the idea of what I want the video to be. That's it. And this process, when I do it, usually without explaining it, is a very quick process, but it still looks good and catchy and gets the points across that I want to get across. So I think it's a great method. My friend thought it was a great method too, wanted me to explain it, and there you go. Like that, you could also do like this. And then maybe, I try to stay away from the drop shadow thing, but if I have the image behind it and it's kind of, the whites are kind of blending together, just a little bit of drop shadow to kind of separate it and make it easier to read again. I think it really works. Anyway, I hope you learned something. I hope this was useful. We'll see you next time. Peace.